Is there a, when you hear that the Eagles, they say, okay, we're not going to play a lot of our guys, so, Saquon hurts. I mean, is it like a reselling job to your group now? Okay, we're not dealing with Saquon, we're not dealing with Hurts, we're not dealing with Smith, and
AJ, Goddard,
the whole crew, right?
The O-line.
You gotta kind of like have to readjust to the new guys and learn the new guys who are the backups now.
Yeah, I think we got to do a good job as a coaching staff, making sure we present who we think's going to be out there for them. I mean, they're going to have to play some guys, right? Like it's the NFL, and you only got so many guys. So that's part of it. We're preparing like any other week, getting ready to go, and hopefully our guys are ready to go play. And again, like it's about us too, right? We got to go out there and hopefully end on a good note and play a little bit better than what we did last week, and making sure we still keep a little bit of focus on us and how we go about our business day by day, and then ultimately come Sunday.
Shane, would you have liked the challenge of trying to stop Saquon from breaking that record?
Yeah, I mean, he's really good back. I mean, we faced him already this year, so really good back. I think really good O-line. It's a really good offense. I'm not surprised by what he's been able to accomplish, what they've been able to accomplish over there this year. It's difficult as a defensive coordinator, as a defense, to go up against Saquon, that O-line, AJ, Smith, Goddard, obviously Jalen Hurts, and his ability to throw the ball, and then you mix in the ability to run the ball. They're a big-time challenge, right? So, I mean, it's one of those things. It's out of my control. Like I'm focused on our guys and making sure we're ready to go, and doing everything we can to kind of keep improving, keep building as we go here.
Shane, I saw a stat that Brian and Kayvon have had the highest success rate over the last few weeks as far as their pass rush win rate. What is it about that tandem that they work so well together and within the scheme?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think just being coordinated, understanding who they are individually and as a unit up there with who we're playing with inside right now as well. When they've had opportunities, they've been able to affect, right? And again, they've been minimal in comparison to what we would like at times, but you saw it last week. We got up on them. We were able to rush. It was true passing situations. We were able to affect the quarterback and get him to throw an interception to us, right? And then we were able to get back there and take it off of them late, right? So just continue to buy into what we're trying to do and be able to create some more of those opportunities. Like, I don't think we are on third down enough right now, right? We're giving too many third and manageables where we need to create some more third and longs where they get opportunities. But I think the main thing for me with those two is understanding who they are as rushers, right? Let's make sure we're focused on us and who we are, and then as a coaching staff, we got to go off those strengths and hopefully coordinate it to where they can complement each other with the other two guys who are in there.
And not to take away from the other guys, but this has happened since Dexter went down. So can you just talk about, does that just make it all that more impressive?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when Dex is out there, Pro Bowler, right? But obviously when he's out there, he garners a lot of attention, as he should. So that comes into play. But different offenses have different ways of kind of affecting these guys, whether they chip with tight ends, they chip with backs, trying to slow down these edges. But anytime there's not as much focus on one guy inside, I think it helps. But obviously, to your point, it obviously has turned the other way a little bit for us. So I think that's a credit to those guys, making sure they're ready to go and take advantage of the opportunities when they get them.
Shane, this is the last time we'll talk to you this season. No, that's probably disappointing for you.
Yeah.
And last time the fans will hear from you. What do you make of Deontay Banks' season? It was the first time the Giants tried him in the cornerback one role, and his future going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a young player, right? We got a lot of young players. It's year two for him. Just continuing to grow week in, day out, continue to improve, continue to take the leadership that's given to him, take the coaching that's given to him, and trying to find ways to get better at his craft each day, right? I mean, I've been pleased with him. He comes to work every day. Obviously, he would like to have a little bit more production than what he's had, and hopefully we can get there and he can continue to progress to that. But again, he's got the right mindset. It's just a matter of continue to grow up, right? Like, you got these young players and just figuring out the game, what it is, week in, week out, day in, day out, and then ultimately being able to go do it on Sundays.
How much is accountability, you think, a big thing with that group of learning, how to be accountable at this level, in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big thing with every player, right? There's the accountability. It's a big thing with the coaching staff, right? Like that's part of it. We're all in this together, and all of us got to be able to take ownership of our mistakes and be held accountable, to hold ourselves accountable. Again, like we're not going to get things fixed until we know it's wrong, right? Until we accept that it's wrong, and that we gotta, whether it's me trying new things, doing something different, putting these guys in positions that are more suitable to their skill sets and what we're asking them to do. So I think that's across the board. I think whenever you're young, just play, right? Like you got to get out there and play and keep learning, and hopefully we can show some of that accountability from you learn you learn by fire sometimes, right? Like that's the NFL. You're going up against, they get paid too, right? They get paid too. They're going to make some plays, and you're going to have to be at your best. But let's make sure that as a group, as an individual player, we're doing everything on our end. Let's make them make the play. Let's not give them anything, and you got to be accountable to that, and hopefully we can learn from those trials as they come and improve off of it.
Did you get what you wanted out of that period there where he was taken off the field a couple of times?
Yeah, I thought he came back and he battled. I do. I thought he came back and he battled, and thought he has been everything we've expected him to be week in and week out, just from a work perspective here over these past 5 or 6 weeks. And obviously last week had a tough game. I mean, I felt like he was in decent position on a few of those. They were hand fighting on one, and he kind of got a little tug in there and got caught. And then those other ones in a good spot for the most part. I think you just got to make sure he gets his head around and finds the ball quicker. Again, you're running 4.4, 4.3 speed, whatever it might be down the field, and all of a sudden you got to be able to locate the ball and have confidence and make yourself comfortable in those uncomfortable positions, because it is hard. It is hard, and just continue to work on those little techniques down the field when we find ourselves in those positions.
You think he's thinking too much, Shane, at times?
No.
So I would just say, sometimes you gotta go out there and let him just play.
Go play.
What'd you make of your first season here?
Yeah, I mean, we'll reflect a little bit next week. Obviously, we'll dive into all that, kind of where we're at. I mean, the run game comes to mind. The X-play runs is something we got to improve upon. It's something I felt like we have these past 5 to 6 weeks. I mean, we've been holding teams under 4 yards a carry, which is pretty good. But that's the one thing that's kind of glaring to me. I think situationally, we were really strong early on those first 10 weeks through the bye week. I think that's kind of teetered off a little bit here lately. I think some of those, again, like I mentioned earlier, creating some more longer third down situations. A lot of third and shorts even showed up last week. But we'll see. I'm proud of the guys. I'm proud of the way they battled. Like they fought. We've had a lot of different guys in there who have made the most of their opportunities. They played hard. They continue to stick together. They battled through adversity throughout the season. Credit them last week. I mean, we get a 4th down stop, and we didn't play great, but we found stops when we needed to. Got a 4th and short stop, which was a huge stop in the game. After a sudden change, failed 4th down attempt, we went out there and 3 and outed them, and then we came up with big plays late. So just proud of the resolve, proud of the guys that have stepped up and kind of contributed.
What's it been like for you, coming in here? You inherited most of your position coaches. What has it been like navigating that, and how is that?
Yeah, it's been good, honestly. I think we got a really good group. Lean on those guys a lot. Again, it's I said it before, it's not my defense, it's our defense. We're going to figure it out, and I'm going to take their input. And again, coming into a new situation, it's kind of a benefit because the relationships and the familiarity with the players, right? Like they know these guys better than anybody. So to be able to have that opinion, that view of these guys really helped early on. And we've grown as a staff as it went. I feel like I've gotten more comfortable with them. They've gotten more comfortable with me. Just expectations, accountability, right? All those types of things. Setting the standard of what we want to do in the office, on the field. So it's been good. It has. We got a good group of guys, and it's been enjoyable. Obviously, wish we would have played a little bit better at times and got some different results, but really like the guys that are here.
Shane, you mentioned something earlier about, you got to make some changes. Everyone has to look and see what's going on. Look, do you think next week when you reflect on this, you'll think maybe did you do enough to change? Also staying within what you want to do, what you believe in. You know what I mean? Is that something maybe for next year you may really explore?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think anytime it always goes back to the players. I think that's the main thing for us as a coaching staff is making sure we put the players in the best position to be successful based on their skill set, based on experience, right? Like a lot of different things kind of go into that. I feel like we're pretty multiple with what we do from a coverage standpoint, from ability to adjust to different fronts, pressures, whatever it might be. I feel like we got a little bit of everything. Part of that conversation is, do you hone in and maybe scale back with what you're trying to do? So, there's a lot you look at, but for the most part, in my mind, it comes down to the players, right? Like what can they handle? What do they feel most comfortable with? Where are they at their best? Where they can go out and execute and perform on Sunday?